So get this. What if one of the most fundamental forces in the universe, the thing that literally keeps our feet on the ground, was also the very thing making us age faster? It's a pretty wild idea, right? And it recently just blew up online, all because of, well, an apology. Yep, that's Deepinder Goyal, the CEO of Zomato. And he had just dropped this personal health theory that caused, let's just say, a massive stir online. But, his apology? It only made people even more curious. So, what was this big, controversial idea all about? Okay, so it all kicked off with this one photo. People saw Goyal wearing this kind of strange device on his temple, and the internet did what the internet does. It went wild with speculation. But his explanation? It was not what anyone was expecting. He came out and introduced this totally radical idea he's calling the gravity aging hypothesis. And honestly, the core idea is surprisingly simple. Goyal, who describes himself as just a curious nerd, started wondering, what if the constant pull of gravity, that force our hearts have to fight against every single second of every single day, is a huge, overlooked factor in how we age? Now, what's really crucial here is that he wasn't saying, hey, I figured it all out. Not at all. He was very clear this was just a hypothesis, an open scientific idea that's worth testing. He even said, I am not rooting for this to be right, only tested. So the real question he's posing is, could a fundamental force of nature be a missing piece in this giant puzzle of aging? So an idea like that naturally leads your brain to one place, right? Astronauts, the only people who've actually managed to escape Earth's gravity. I mean, if gravity really does speed up aging, then living in space should slow it down. Simple enough? Well, scientists have been looking into this for decades, and the reality is, as it so often is, way more complicated. Because, you see, in a lot of ways, astronauts look like they're aging faster. They lose bone density, their muscles get weaker. It's why scientists have actually used spaceflight as a model for aging here on Earth. But here's the million-dollar question. Is what we're seeing on the outside a true picture of what's happening deep down at the cellular level? Well, a huge review by the NIH decided to dig into exactly that. They compared 165 different cellular signs of aging to the changes they saw in astronauts. And the overlap? The big reveal? A surprisingly small 29%. And when you zoom in on the numbers, the picture gets even weirder. Almost a third of the cellular effects of being in space were the exact opposites of aging, or the results were just fuzzy, ambiguous. And get this, almost 40% of the potential connections haven't even been studied yet. So yeah, this is definitely not a simple cause and effect thing. So why the disconnect? Well, scientists think it all comes down to where the process starts. Think of it like this. Biological aging here on Earth is believed to start with actual physical damage, like tiny bits of damage to our DNA that just build up over time. But the aging-like effects in space, that seems to be more like the body's internal communication system getting all scrambled because the environment suddenly changed. Two very different starting points. And that brings us to the biggest difference of all, reversibility. When astronauts come back down to Earth, their bodies start to readjust, and most of those aging-like effects actually reverse themselves. But real biological aging, as we all know, is pretty much a one-way street. Okay, so the whole gravity theory might be a bit murky scientifically speaking, but the curiosity that sparked it, that taps into a much, much bigger trend that's happening right now. This desire to understand and maybe even take control of our own biology, it's driving some incredible new tech that's becoming available to, well, all of us. This vision of the near future isn't as far off as you might think. We are jumping headfirst into an era of what people are calling biohacking, where we can use technology to monitor, to analyze, and to optimize our own bodies in real time. And listen, this isn't some far-off science fiction fantasy. We're literally surrounded by this tech right now. Think about it. Fitness trackers, smartwatches that can spot an irregular heartbeat, AR glasses being used in surgery, even prenatal monitors, the list goes on. All of these devices are constantly collecting this massive stream of data about our health. All right, so we're collecting all of this incredible data about ourselves. But data on its own is just numbers. It's noise. The real game changer, the revolution, is what we can do with it. And that, my friends, is where artificial intelligence comes into play. See, the real magic of AI is its ability to take all these completely different streams of data, your heart rate from your watch, your sleep patterns, your genetic test results, your daily activity, and see the hidden patterns. It can spot connections that the human brain just can't. It's like having a superpowered detective for your own body. And this creates this powerful new cycle, a feedback loop for your health. So step 1, all that wearable tech collects the raw data from your body. Step 2, AI algorithms get to work analyzing that data to understand your unique biology. And finally, step 3, it spits out a personalized health strategy that's built just for you. And we're talking way beyond the generic advice you always hear, like eat healthier or get more exercise. No, this is on another level. We're talking about an AI suggesting specific foods to eat based on your genetic makeup, designing the perfect workout to maximize your personal performance, and even recommending tiny lifestyle tweaks to sharpen your focus and slash your stress. So where does all this lead? Well, it leads to some pretty big, profound questions, doesn't it? We are really standing on the edge of a new frontier in human health. It's a frontier that offers incredible, mind-boggling promise, but it also raises some really serious concerns. The promise is crystal clear, right? The chance to understand and take control of our own biology in a way that was unthinkable just a generation ago. But the peril? The peril is just as real. This whole revolution brings with it some major ethical challenges, especially when it comes to our personal data and what we do with all this newfound power. And probably the single biggest hurdle we have to get over is data privacy. Because we're not just talking about sharing our location or what we bought online. We are talking about the most intimate, sensitive information that exists, our genetic code, our real-time health stats. And the massive question becomes, who owns that data? And how can we be absolutely sure it's being used to help us and not to exploit us? So we've gone from one tech CEO's curious theory about gravity all the way to the very real, very powerful world of AI-driven health. We are clearly on a path toward radical self-improvement, but it leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question of all. As we get better and better at mastering the technology to optimize ourselves, what exactly are we becoming?